Yeah, let's do more. How about we do all the side quests until we get into level 86 and then. Greetings, honored scions of the Seventh Dawn. I have a message from His Excellency the Satrap. Brave scions, you have my gratitude for aiding my people in the most trying of time. Alas, matters here at the moment prevent me from meeting you all in person. As a token of my appreciation, I arrange for a feast to be held in your honor. May it nourish you in preparation for the trials ahead. Such are the words of Master Vitra. The feast he speaks of awaits you at your hand. Pray and make your way there whenever your business is done. We thank you for your kindness indeed. I was hoping we might find a place to discuss our next course of action. It seems an idea vendor. And to you, Ron Stoppable, there is something we had hoped to introduce you in particular. I am loath to detain you further. Might I spare a moment of your a personal invitation, knowing full well your services are in the highest demand right now. This must be important. Worry enough, we'll save some food for you to take all the time you need. Better save me food. Taking all my food and I'll never get anything. Thank you, friend. Whenever you are ready, please join me in the Aetheryte Plaza. I shall go on ahead. Oh, are we gonna open it up? Are we gonna finally open it up? Can't believe I'm at 88 though. We're level 88, and yet I've only had the storyline at level 85. Access to the Aetheryte you see there has been restricted to a select few ever since the tower first appeared. Siri apologized for the inconvenience, but it was deemed dangerous to permit the free movement of visitors at a time of emergency, a risk we could not take. In light of recent developments, however, the Satrap has decided that such restrictions would only hinder our efforts to come back to find our days. As such, I would encourage you to attune with the Aetheryte before proceeding along the corridor. There it is. Finally. You must be wondering what this place is. Stand in the Hall of the Radiant Host, where our leadership oversees all of Raza Han's military operations. Sundrop, our destination, lies just ahead. Nishkarian delegate. Alameda. Wait. They're all here. Welcome to Sundrop. Without further ado, allow me to introduce you to... Oh, so you're the famous Ron Stoppable, eh? I knew it the moment you stepped through the door. You're the look of one who's walked through hell. Please, you're speaking to the perhaps honored guest and the savior of our people. Can you not show a monochrome of respect? What disrespect is there in paying a fellow warrior a compliment? We're all friends here, or will soon be enough. More formally, than for the benefit of my countrymen, it's a pleasure to have you with us. O great champion of Georgia, giant of the Sand Dawn, warrior light, and all around good egg, I'm sure. Let's talk of eggs. Remind me I'm late for dinner. What is this place? I mean, I hear you've been to Kugane, where you've seen all sorts of foreign embassies and whatnot. Well, we've got them here in Razahan too, other lands that delegates to oversee trade and diplomatic dealings. Then there are military matters to discuss, which is why all these officers are stationed here. I imagine you're more familiar with each of the nations they represent, yes? We've got representative for Doma. Uda and Alamillo. Nipso and Lamenta. Gridania. And never let it be said least, Ishgard. They're the eyes, ears, and mouths that bridge the distance between Razahan and their respective homelands. We use this respite to share the details of our plight with our overseas competitor. Wouldn't you know it, all of their leaders requested a few words from you specifically, the man in high demand. So would you mind regaling us with your own account? Indulge us before you indulge yourself? I thank you for the report. The conditions under which your men are turned to beasts, yet there go anomalies you have observed. You have given us much to consider. It is concerning that the first transformation apparently occurred before the skies turn red. This is contrary to what one would expect. Thankfully, the information you conveyed to Lucia upon your return from the moon has already proved invaluable. As soon as reports of the calamity here in Fafnir reached the Grand Company of Riorze, our leaders knew at once that the fire days were indeed upon us. They began taking steps to assess the extent of the phenomenon's spread. Our agents were able to confirm that, for the time being, the skies burn only over the bounty, including this island and Corvos. Alas, that is of little comfort. Aye, all throughout Allied lands, there have been reports of people transferring into hideous beasts. From what little we have learned, these incidences are similar in nature to that involving the merchant. As was the case here, the victims underwent the change prior to the heavens being set ablaze. So, while the burning skies have yet to manifest beyond the bounty, the transformations do not appear to be subject to any similar restriction. If anyone anywhere overcome by despair can turn, then no one is safe. About the size of it, speaking of which, we ought to give these creatures a name, don't you think? Here in Razahan, we take it to calling the first to change, which tend to be the biggest, blasphemies. Fitting as a name any. To ensure clarity in future communication, we shall urge our comrades to adopt this terminology. Our leaders have taken measures to deal with the threat to the best of our abilities. Each nation has assembled their own groups of elite soldiers to put down the so-called blasphemies in their spawn as and when they appear. At the same time, they are doing all their power to put the people's mind at ease and prevent panic and fear from spreading. That said, brave souls with the strength and fortitude to fell these terrible fiends are not easily found. Just so, and it is for that very reason we turn to you. Pray lend us your strength and help us slay the blasphemies that plague our homelands. Now, you don't have to give your reply before dinner. I should also mention that each blasphemy seems to possess wildly different characteristics. What works well against one may serve you poorly against another. But before you go rushing off to save everyone's day, have a word with my delegates. They'll tell you what to expect. That bad? I mean, I know it's bad, but I didn't think of it this. With that, I do believe our friend here has a feast to attend. Spare a thought for us while you're tucking into all that fine cuisine. You have gained access to the role quest for Endwalker. A separate quest line and story are now available for tank, melee DPS, physical range DPS, magical range DPS, and healer roles. To undertake these quests, speak with any of the delegates in Sundrop and agree to help defeat the blasphemies that plague their respective homelands. Ah! It all makes sense. Or clouds brewing. So the question is, do I do it? Pray forgive Sir her rudeness. To be a bit voiced at times, but it is simply her nature. Anyway, my apologies. You, from your hard-earned rest, you will be rejoining your companions. Do you know the way? Yes. Glad to hear you become familiar with our fair city. You'll be pleased to hear that all drinks are on the house. So order whatever's your fancy. And with that, I must return to my post on behalf of all the radiant hosts. I thank you and your friends once more for lending your strength and courage at Razahan, our time in need. We shall endeavor to fight the good fight to the end, that we might honor Azra's legacy and serve Matra Vietra. Well, you have my word that your efforts will not be in vain. One, two, three, four. So I'm doing laments, yeah. Well, we found it. I was wondering when they were gonna appear. Oh god. Suddenly side quests everywhere. Alright. We're gonna do more story and then I'll have to come back here and clear out this whole entire place. This place and another one. Welcome. When the Secretary asked us to entertain a party of honored guests, I was wondering who it might be. This is a lovely surprise, to say the least. By the way, I heard all about Kazel from your friend Grahatia. I understand there was nothing that could be done, but I was heartened to hear he meant us no harm. I cannot thank you enough for dispatching the beast. As the smallest token of our thanks, your food and drink tonight are his treat. Speaking of which, what shall I start you off with? Ah. Water. Water. Give me water. As you wish. Ready to join your friends. I will bring your drink. Go back. Whatever did the radium want with you, pray tell? Our allies have sent military delegates. That's news to me. Mind sharing the details? Don't worry.
So blasphemies now plague all the realm.
It will only get worse if what Father said is true, as it did in Amarot.
If that's our model, then shouldn't we expect the effects to grow more severe as it feeds off its own spread? As if people transforming into those monstrosities wasn't bad enough. If the flora and fauna, if the land itself turned against us.
No one would survive.
It's trying to choke the world. That's what it's doing. Not just the world, but the stars, the shards also. But it'll start at the source, and then slowly spread to the other ones.
May you find comfort in these dark times.
Where do we go from here? If there's one thing we've learned, fighting blindly and simply reacting to what comes will accomplish nothing. We must find a solution that addresses the fundamental cause. Before our strength is exhausted, before this crisis spirals out of control. Is there something, anything we've overlooked?
If there is an answer, Hydaelyn herself will have it. 'Twas she who bound Zodiac and forestalled the final days. Alas, we have heard naught from her since the Tower of Babel. Whether she cannot or will not speak, I can only speculate. Even the flower she gave us is no more.
Wait. Didn't the forum say they found a way to get... In our time, we call it Ellipse. We do well to remember the name.
So advised the Watcher. But what could be the significance of that name? It is entirely unfamiliar to me.
To me as well. It meant something to the ancients, though. In our time.
Most surely. Yet I do not recall a single mention of it in the records of Anida.
Another dead end. And quite literally. It's not as if there are any ancients living we could go and ask.
Or can we?
Not alive as such, but not quite dead. Elidibus. I sealed him in the white auricite of the Crystal Tower back on the first. Contained within that reservoir of ether that maintains it, ether that is returned little by little to the sea. Naught may remain of his soul. However, if part of it lingers, we might be able to speak with him there. I know we can no longer make that journey, but you, my friend, still can.
It would be an opportunity to look in on the others as well.
Thank you, my friend. That would mean much to me.
If nothing else, should we learn the first is safe, we'll have that much more reason to keep fighting the good fight. That said, the odds are not in our favor, to say the least.
Hey, we've dealt with terrible odds.
Riange up there on the moon, working hard to make all the necessary preparations for our departure, should it come to it.
And why we have nothing to lose by staying the course till the last instant.
Indeed. To the last, let us all do what we can. I will consult with Master Matoya and see if she knows of a way to reach Hydaelyn from the ethereal sea.
And I will visit the nation's leaders and attempt to ascertain how far the final days have progressed elsewhere.
Keep me abreast of your findings. I can seek out and slay the worst of the immediate threats, if only to slow the spread.
Unease, terror, despair. Try as we might to suppress them, these emotions will return to harry us time and time again. But when they do, remember this. Your friends and loved ones are out there somewhere, sharing in your struggle. You are not alone.
So ends the brief respite before the next revelation. Yes, so much left for you to see. Where beginning ends, and end begins.
Oh my... I didn't expect them to do this far. We're going back to the sword, to the first. Speak with Thancred. Now then, is there anything we've forgotten to mention? Are your arms and armor in good order? Yep, I'm perfectly fine. In that case, it's time we each attend to our tasks, and when you arrive on the first, give my regards to Rain. Tell her I miss her. Oh, hi. Oh, we're at 86. Ironwood weapon. Turn to the crystal. Take this, Ronald. My spirit vessel. Empty now, of course, but it should allow you to operate the tower's systems in the Umbricus. If even the smallest fragment of Elidibus as it remains, it should be possible to locate it. As for access to the owner, pray seek out Lena for assistance. Chances are she still stands watch at the Ascender Gate. Should she or anyone else ask after me, tell them I am living my life to the fullest, that I am happy, hardship and all. Well, it best be on our respective ways. God's willing. We will see each other again ere long. You better die. None of you better... You all better come... You all better be fine when I return. We really... Oh my god. We really are going back to the first. As a plot device. I wondered that. I was wondering, it's like oh, everything seems fine here. Arnold, you are returned. You been well? And the others? There's no shortage of trouble, but we are well. And things are much the same for you as they were here. My lord is doubtless enjoying himself? He said this to you? Those exact words? Yeah, all to know he is happy fills my heart for taking care of him. When next you see him, tell him not to overexert himself. Futile a request though it is. Tell him that all is well here. The peace you gifted us continues, and we work hard to build new lives for ourselves. At the core of this, we occasionally bicker. We've never been more optimistic for tomorrow. If I had to mention one dilemma, it would be the question of our governance. And as we speak, debate rages on how we should run the city and the Exarchate. Both are of our mind that the Senate Council should continue to oversee the general running of the Christorium, while representatives are elected to determine policy and handle diplomacy. Thus far, nothing is set in stone, but however we choose to proceed, we will not replace our Lord. No one can. Have you recently observed any unusual phenomena? What can I say there, Ben? Curious that you should ask me. Some days ago, Rain came and asked the very same. She was rather unsettled, in stark contrast to how cheerful she has been of late. She and other Crystorian youths hosted a festival, you see. It proved so popular that there are already plans for another celebration, one much bigger than the first. Between her preparations for the festival and the restoration of the empty, she struck me as happy and full of life. So when I saw her in a state of such worry, I couldn't help but feel worried in turn. Especially since she wouldn't tell me what troubled her. I dare say she would be more willing to confide in you. May I ask you to broach the subject with her? You probably can sense it. That the final days are here, and it's hitting the source. You wish to enter. Very well. I shall fetch the key at once. Take the opportunity to find Rain. Please wait for me in the city, in front of the Cabinet of Curiosity. Shall we say I will be along as soon as I am? Ah, here we are. It's been a while since I've been into Crystor. Wow. Now there's like a ton of side quests I gotta deal with here too. We're gonna get this cleaned up one way or another. This expansion, I'm getting it all cleaned up. The final events cannot be skipped. They wish to cancel anything. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get all that done. I will be going back probably and start working on that this month. Once we're done on Walker's main story. Probably do. I have to complete Walker story, and then master Maya, which we'll call it, and then do whatever else there is in the game. But then, do my old eyes deceive? Is that truly Ronald? Well, it is full glad I am to see you, Hale and Whole. A wonderful surprise it is to have you back with us at this most opportune time. In case you haven't heard, we are planning to produce a tome chronicling events from the Flood to the Knight's return. For this project, we intend to draw upon records kept by the world's people. Historical and documentary first-hand accounts will be the centerpiece of the tome, but yours would be the one to crown them all. I've been asked to contribute a chapter on the soul, a subject that is key to understand much of your endeavors. In the course of developing the Sphere Vessel, I gained valuable insight into travel beyond the Rift, knowledge that will allow me to attest to your existence. There's no end to the questions I would ask you, but if you could indulge me just one for now. In your quest to restore the night, you faced many a formidable foe. Among them, who offered you the greatest struggle? I don't know. To mention that, I come to it. Hades, who bore the burden of his people. Hades, he who sought to resurrect his ancient brethren. He was the final obstacle in your quest to restore the night. Your battle in the depths of the tempest. Stuff of epics, yet compelling as it is, I worry that mere words wouldn't do justice to grateful compensation. Not that we would think to omit the entire record. No, at the very least, we will impress upon readers that It was the climax of your hero's journey. I know you'd love to talk his ear off, Moron, but we really should be on our way. Those documents from Ilmore won't collect themselves. Of course, first and afterwards, would you care to join me for tea? I was hoping you might clarify a few points in your treaties. So next time then, you tell the others to look after themselves. Our overzealous friend in particular, remind him not to overexert himself again and again till his ears fall off. If that's what it takes for him to take it to heart. I think that's what this is. These moments like these events, they're designed more like if you've done a bunch of side quests and story plot lines, then you'll run into the people that you helped and like worked with. Is that the Warrior of Darkness? Oh. Hey, what are you doing here? You're going to battle. I can give you some medicine. I made it. That's not right. You want to give him a stomachache. Hey. Moran to get his advice. One of the guards finally agreed to teach us how to fight, but first we need to choose a fighting style. Well, I know that I won't. I want to be a mage. Our kill isn't sure. Magic isn't really my thing, so I was thinking of taking up an axe or the sword or maybe the bow. They all seem alright, but it's hard to decide, so I thought I'd ask Moran. He knows a lot. Isn't here? Aww. Why don't you have the Warrior of Darkness choose for you? What do you think suits this? For protecting your friends. Sword. If you took up the sword, you could be just like... Brennan, the Warrior of Light. I love that tale. Let's borrow the book today. Very popular though. Hope it's still there. Thanks for helping me decide Warrior of Darkness. I'll start with that style. Try something else later on. And when I get really strong, I hope to have a battle with you. Such fun he's been having basking in the musty old bookworms and wide-eyed youngins. But does he spare a thought of me? Of course. Oh, Feyu. Oh, Feyu. I waited and waited and waited, but he wouldn't so much as acknowledge the presence of his beautiful branch, even though they're right here is such a heartless thing for sapling. It's cold and cruel. Oh, I missed you. Truly, Missy, you should have cried for me to top your lungs the instant you arrived. Wait for it. You will call with twice the passion next time, though. For there to be the next time, you've some few struggles to overcome. Sapling, the world, you know, the world is on the verge of destruction, is it? How do I notice? Joined as we are, spying on you is as simple as sliding down the back of a rainbow. Would that I could aid you in your quest, but the fate of we faithful is bound to that of the star. Whither it goes, so too do we follow. Most I could do is spare you the pain by gifting you the sweetest of eternal dreams. But if escape is not your liking, then you must struggle with your fellow mortals. But here are the ones you were waiting for. I wonder what matter of conclusion awaits at Tale's End. Apologies for the delay. Donald, it's so wonderful to see you again. You doubtless have much catching up to do, so I shall leave you to it. I've taken the liberty of unlocking the umbraces, and you may enter your leisure. I'm relieved to hear that everyone is well. I've had this feeling like a pit in my stomach, and I was afraid that something might have happened. Sense it. Maybe I'm overthinking things, but it's just that. I'm the Oracle Light, but I've never spoken with Highland, never once. Oh. Even so, I've always had this feeling deep inside me, a connection of something immense. These past few days, though, that connection has wavered. As if that immense something was distant, then close, then distant again. And the other night, I was jolted awake by the feeling it had been completely severed. Wanting some fresh air, I went to open the window, and to my horror, the sky was ablaze like during a star shower. But then I blinked and everything was normal. The next day, no one said a thing. No one else had seen what I seen. As far as I could tell, nothing was out of the ordinary. I began to wonder if the fragment of a half-remembered dream. Ronald, not telling. I have to know, please. It doesn't matter how terrible it is. It wasn't my imagination then. The doom we witnessed in Amaran has come again. Like I told you before, all is well here in the first. Don't worry about us. Please look only to the threat before you. We're fine right now, and even if we weren't, we've learned how to survive. Should the final days reach us here as well, you may be assured we won't go quietly. No, we'll hold on until you can find a way to save all of worlds. So long as you continue your fight, so too will we, united in purpose beneath a blazing sky. That makes me feel a lot better to hear that. Why does it keep changing me? Weird. Oh, but that should... doesn't matter. Okay, as long as... okay. Hope upon a flower. You're headed to the consultant. Elizabeth, right? I'll do some consulting of my own and speak with Lydia. Decide how we might best prepare for the final days. So it's farewell for now. We shall see each other again soon. Look at this. It's just so many side quests. One day I'll have it all done. Sorry, I'm dark. Ah, Master Ronald, welcome back. The captain's told me all. Give the word and I will show you to the ocular. Oh. A memory. Are you sure you want to see him again, though?
Biometric authentication complete. Please state your business. Acknowledged. Reinitializing Circus Tower systems. Searching for Elidibus entity. Target located in subterranean core power accumulator. Projecting image.
My home. My friends. No more than a dream. You. Why have you awakened me? I no longer sense those places beyond, or Lord Zodiac. You must explain all. So, he is fallen, and my brethren's souls returned to the star. The doom we sacrificed so much to prevent is come again. Old burdens now yours to bear. But if this is Fandaniel's design, then I, as Elidibus, have a duty to fulfill. Your unsolicited act has restored to me some few memories of the convocation. Such knowledge as I have, I will share. Why apologize for receiving a favor of the defeated? If it sits ill, consider it payment for freeing Lord Zodiac from servitude. Where to begin? Ah, the end. Your understanding of what caused the final days is consistent with our own. The decay first took root where the currents were weakest. Yes, a conclusion drawn by him, Fandaniel. Not the him of here and now, but as I knew him, long, long ago. Having shed light upon the phenomenon, he dedicated himself to devising a countermeasure. Were it not for his knowledge of the Celestial, we would never have made the connection, and thence forestalled the final days. And though he inherited that noble soul, how different this last incarnation. So consumed by self-loathing and hate.
So if the original Dan Daniel would have been in control, they would have probably ran things differently. They would have done everything. They probably would have continued studying on how to deal with the final days. How to stop it altogether. They would have probably helped us and had us understand what the final days were outright.
Elpis. Yes. The name is familiar to me. Yet I know it not as a flower, but a place.
Hmm?
A testing facility for determining which of our creations were fit to be released into the world. Many worked there, and before joining the convocation and assuming the title of Fandaniel, he was their chief. He was Hermes. That is all I know.
Yeah.
The crystals tell little of the lives the 14 led prior to their induction. Elpis itself would tell even less. Nary a ruin has survived. Wait. I saw you there. In Elpis. No. I did not. But I did. I did. A lingering trace of impossibility.
Oh no. No.
And a truth that fills my heart.
The paradox. We're gonna find a way to go there.
My memories remain clouded, I fear. However, they have revealed to me one possible course. You must travel to Elpis, to the time when Hermes served as its chief.
That's why he's saying he saw us there, because we're gonna travel to the past, and we're gonna end up there, where he will see us.
In glimpsing the Exarch's memories, not only did I make his summoning magic mine own, I also mastered the workings of this tower, which, having absorbed my empowered essence, now harbors an abundance of energy. As such, I believe I can deliver you unto the past, unto that place and that precise moment. Given the eons that must be traversed, the gateway will not be fully formed. Your form will be less tangible still than those warriors of light I had summoned. In all likelihood, none will be able to see or hear you. Yet even should you manage to interact with others, you will be unable to effect meaningful change.
In other words, no matter what, even no matter how hard we try, we can't stop the final days in the past.
For the reality you wish to save, the reality to which you must return, exists as a result of the final days.
If you stop the final days there,
you cannot reshape the past to undo the tragedies of the present. Cannot unmake the sorrow and suffering fated to come. In full knowledge of this, will you still entrust your life to your foe and make the journey? Very well. I shall cast you unto the river of time Let this be my final act.
Oh, that's not a thing you should say. You hear Nintendo lawsuit coming. Be like, River of Time is copyrighted.
You must input the commands. I no longer have the authority. First, you must reconfigure the systems, that the tower's ether may be channeled for the magic. The preparations are complete. The gateway will soon open. Return at once to the Ocula. All appears to be in order. The ether flows unimpeded. The magic should consume every last mote of my essence. Why are you surprised? Did I not say that this will be my final act? Lord Zodiac is no more. There is nothing for me here. The ones I love and long to see again are waiting in that promised land, beyond memory and dream. Now go, warrior of light. Go, and do not look back. Well, Heidelin, I take my leave of you. Yours is the mantle of the last of us. May you have the joy of it, the burden, and the solitude. It falls to you now. You and your champion to save our star.
Alright, let's not screw up the time travel for this, please, OCP. Enix has this problem of not doing time travel correctly. So... the only time they did it right was with Chrono Trigger. But at the same time, they also screwed it up with Chrono Trigger DS. Adding all that extra content stuff. It's just to try and extend the plot line and post-game. It's like, yeah. So let's hope they do this correctly. Oh, I'm a ghost. You did say we'll be less changeables. We're more like observers than unable to. The right device. The device is reminiscent of an aetherite, perhaps it's supposed to. Light attempted to channel and focus your energies. You failed to attune with the device. You can only assume it operates differently. What's what they say? Converse. This is the right place, yes? Papillonian? Judging by the woman's words, this facility is called You attempt to gently prod the woman to attract her attention, but feel nothing. Seems neither does she. So we're not even in the right place. Or are we? The remarkably large man wears a black robe and half mask. Much like the phantoms you encounter in Merida and the recreated Amaranth. It would seem you have made it to your destination. You just wildly and shout all manner of greeting and obscenities, but the man does not glance in your general direction. It's true what he said. You can't. You're unable to interact. You'll be completely less tangible to the point where it's like can't do anything. Godlike man. Oh. The man stands dutifully by the Aetheryte like device. Guide to this for this facility and all. You attempt to get the man's attention, but if he sees or hears you, he gives no indication. As Elizabeth warned, it appears your form is intangible. Okay. We tell her about how to interact with it. Oh.
And here we are, Elpis. Well, well, how rare to receive you in person. To what do we owe the honor? Oh, just a few odd tasks. We'll be here a while. You're welcome to stay as long as you see fit, of course. As a matter of procedure, however, I must ask that you kindly remove your masks.
Hmm?
Come now. Is this truly necessary? Surely you can tell who we are.
Who you are, perhaps, but I am far less infamous. Regardless, if we do not follow protocol, 'tis our hosts who would be held accountable. So, please, do favor us with your handsome face.
Handsome face. Oh.
Satisfied?
I thank you for your cooperation. You are free to go about your business. By the by, you see it too, yes?
Yeah.
I haven't the foggiest. What are you talking about?
Like, yeah.
That's odd.
You wanna...
It's right here. A bit thin in the ether, but there's no mistaking it. The color of its soul is almost identical to Azem's. Do you suppose he created it? Rather unusual for a familiar to have a soul, though.
Don't ask me. All I know is that it's trouble. Doubly so if it's his spitting image. So let's leave it be. Come now.
Ah.
It's trying to say something, but it's literally too intangible to form words. Why don't you give it some ether? Spare a snifter of your bounteous reserves.
Who do you take me for?
Why, a dear friend, of course. One who wouldn't let acts of kindness, such as my accompanying him on errands to far-flung outposts, go unrewarded?
He's hating.
I suggest you close your eyes, or this may be unpleasant. You may open your eyes.
I'm whole! This is bad, though.
Still a touch small, don't you think?
The size befits its proportions. Besides, bigger is not necessarily better.
I will defer to your experience. Without further ado then. Greetings! I am Hythlodaeus, Chief of the Bureau of the Architect. Sulking beside me is the most honorable Emmett Selk of the Convocation of 14. And how might we address you, my new friend? A fine name. And I'm pleased to see you understand our words. So, tell us, whence have you come? The thinness of your essence suggests you weren't created here. You do not know? Or cannot say? Allow me to ask a different question then. What brings you here?
Oh. I seek a man named Mermaid.
Well now, the same as us. Perhaps Azim wished to come too, but had to settle for a familiar.
If he truly wished to be here, then he would be.
Right you are. My apologies if we've given offense. The two of us can discern the color of souls, you see, and yours happens to resemble that of a friend. And with your purpose matching our own besides, we jumped to a hasty conclusion. We are here to speak with Hermes, the chief overseer of this facility, which we also intend to tour in order to gain greater insight into the man's work. We, I say, though this is Emmett Selk's charge. I am here only to serve as his guide. And I should be happy to serve as yours as well, by way of an apology for the misunderstanding.
Wait, are you suggesting that we bring it along on official business? This thing we know next to nothing about?
Hey.
If you harbor suspicions, better to keep it close than leave it to its own devices. Wouldn't you agree?
True. Because if you leave me alone, this place will probably fall apart in about an hour or two. Due to craziness.
Having a mysterious life form in tow is the norm rather than the exception here. Welcome, my friends, to the testing ground of creation at Heaven's Edge. Elpis.
Whoa! It's like paradise.
This presence.
Is that Heidelin? I think that was Heidelin before Heidelin.
Hermes! Visitors! We have visitors!
They wiggle. They do the wiggly wiggly. The water. This is insane, though.
What secrets are you hiding, I wonder?
Oh, you know what it reminds me of? Oh god, what is it called? It was in 11. There's like 5 platforms that are around it, like a floating island. Like there's like floating islands that are around it. And then the center, it's like a big one. This is its. Is this a? That's a whole area. It fates. Oh my goodness. Ah, so that. These researchers are from the Academy of the World. Words of Pamela are here to observe. I wish they would give equal attention to the ambient environment, especially. This is hardly my first time here, but the scenery never fails to take my breath away, while it feels as if you could reach out and touch the heavens. Now then, to begin our guided tour, perhaps you already know these things. For the sake of thoroughness, I shall start with the basics. Using concepts to give shape to ether, creation magics allowed us to bring forth anything we desire. Be it animate objects, living beings. Anyone may conceive of concepts, but they all must undergo evaluation at the Bureau of the Architect. As part of that process, living beings, a certain arcane entity, may be sent here to Elpis for an in-depth observation and study. A fascinating facility, is it? I dare say you will enjoy touring it with us. So anything anybody creates has to come here. Pretty much anything through creation magic has to come here. That's alive. If you create a living organism, it'll have to come here and be studied, I guess, to make sure that it can work. It can exist correctly in the world outside of this place. It's epic. It's giant. Well, not even that tall. We're just there. Yeah. They're literally... Yeah, he's the same size. I wonder if playing as a Lalafell changes the like everyone's like the moon's entire dialogue to make them think that people are small. Touch. And I don't know. I'm gonna take a quick break though. I need to get some food and some more to drink and stuff.